All right, how much are Chat GPT ads going to cost? I think that Chat GPT ads are going to undercut Meta, Google, TikTok in the short term, and then it's going to taper off. So I'll walk you through my exact trajectory of costs. Right now, what the entire internet is saying is, oh my gosh, ChatGPT ads are so expensive, $60 CPM. You have to have $200,000 minimum. That is not what's actually going to happen. This is the beta testing. This is where enterprise companies are spending a lot of money. They want to get on the ground floor. They're happy to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. When self-serve ads come out, which could be later this month in April of 2026, it could be June, it could be July. What ChatGPT understands is that if it wants to capture a sizable market share, I'm going to use dental implants provider as an example. If it wants to capture this audience, it needs to do either two things. One, it needs to give them better quality leads, so they're willing to spend more per lead. Or two, it needs to give them cheaper leads. And people aren't going to be convinced on number one. Oh, ChatGPT can give me better qualified leads. There's nothing to base that off of. So that's just all hype. And the average small to medium sized business owner is going to be really focused on results, or they should be. And so I think what ChatGPT is doing right now is they're trying to understand the average cost per lead per industry. You're a roofer, you're a dental implants provider, you're a dermatologist, you're a medical spa, you're a SaaS company, you're an XYZ, it doesn't matter. I think they're going to try to find a way to understand what the rough current cost pers. Dental implants providers. Go to Google Ads, you shove $1,000 into Google Ads, you get how many leads out of it? Is it 10? So $100 cost per qualified lead. In Meta, you shove $1,000 cost per qualified lead. Is it $80? Is it $150? You're a roofer, you're a flooring contractor. Whatever the case may be, I think ChatGPT is going to try to undercut it by 20 to 50% early on. And why would they do that? Aren't they going to lose money? Well, I think there's going to be a switch over effect that's difficult for the small to medium sized enterprise. For a lot of small businesses, just saying, okay, we're going to run a new channel of marketing is not something that they just wake up and do every day of the week. That takes decision making. And so ChatGPT, I believe, knows that if they can get someone like this to move a fraction of their budget over, let's say they're running $3,000 a month into Google Ads, if they're willing to run $1,000 into ChatGPT and then they get better results, ChatGPT knows that they've at least got that sticky client for a bit. They might move more budget over. They might be willing to, in a period of slump of low performance, wait it out a little bit. I think this first few months is going to be very important for ChatGPT. And therefore, I think the cost pers kind of must be lower, 20, 30, 40% lower than Google Ads, than Meta ads. And that again seems like a foolish decision that ChatGPT would make. But, how much Google Ads revenue in USA? Let's see if this will. $264 billion. Now, if we can figure this out from small businesses, I don't know if it'll give me this data in a clear way. Not really, but out of that $200-300 billion in revenue, how much of that is coming from small businesses? Let's just use a very conservative number and say, let's say 20%. 20% of 300 billion, $60 billion worth of revenue that Google Ads is generating from the small business owner. Again, this is just random rough numbers, but I think you get the point. If ChatGPT can extract a percentage of this very quickly, wow, they're going to be very happy about that, which is why I think they're willing to undercut performance costs in the short term, 12 months from now, 18 months from now, 24 months from now. That's where I think ChatGPT ads are going to start to get more expensive. There's going to be more competition in the market. And I think ChatGPT knows it can increase the cost pers. But in the short term, I think this is going to be a very interesting place to play. And I think that it's going to be less expensive. This is no one else is saying this that I've heard of, less expensive than other forms of marketing in the short term.